Welcome back to another episode of Late Entry, your favorite or soon-to-be favorite place for the hottest sports news, wildest viral content, and conversations guaranteed to make you laugh. Got my boy RBF Kyle with me tonight,
How we doing?
and it's your boy Double Dose. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Game 6 of the Finals, some conversations about ring culture, WNBA players signing autographs, nice little baster bullshit about Zach Lowe, Shedeur Sanders getting some speeding tickets, and some white boy basketball. So, let's get into it. We have a Game 7 coming up.
Let's go.
The Pacers did the what seemed like after Game 5 the unthinkable. We had a hurt Tyrese Haliburton. They got beaten, and it looked like it was going to be bad. But instead, the Pacers were able to get it done in dominant fashion. They wound up winning by 17 points. But it didn't seem that close during the game. It was like 21 points, I think, at like half, and it was not the most tight game, but it was still entertaining to watch. T.J. McConnell still doing his thing, and Siakam summoned a demon before the game. If you saw that, fucking sitting there, he summoned that shit and played like it. Bro had a double. It was pretty good.
He said the Lord's Prayer at least 3 times before he hit tip off, man. He hit the magic number.
That was the demon prayer, bro. That fucking face. But yeah, so we're gonna have Game 7. The 2 Game 7 truthers are here tonight too. Kyle and I both are predicting.
Shout out
Pacers
Nolan.
He
said over in 5, and now he ain't showing his face tonight.
The crazy thing is, if the Pacers do wind up winning in 7, like we both predicted, I still owe him some money because way back when they were playing the Knicks, I bet him that the Pacers would lose that game or that series, and I said I would throw in a kicker if they won the finals. So I'm going to have the right prediction and still have to pay money.
You can win and still lose. That's the life of Double Dose.
You're still sticking strong in Game 7?
Absolutely. I'm holding on. It's going to be tough to go and do it in their house a second time, I will say. After taking that home loss, it took the wind from beneath my sails a little bit, but let's keep it riding, baby. Come on.
The only thing that I can say is that they did already win at Thunder once. It was Game 1, but it can be done.
It can definitely be done. And to beat them by 17 is such an awesome bounce back. I love it.
That boy Obi Toppin was their leading scorer, 20 points.
Shout out! I might have to get a jersey.
This is the shit still with me with Tyrese, man. He's been on my unbettable, like I will never bet on him player, and 14 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, on 5 of 12 shooting. Like they won by that much, and Tyrese still only had 14 points. And only 5 assists. Was not even like he was going crazy with the distributing. But I digress. I do want to hit real fast just on some more fucking rub it in shit on Toph. Mathurin, 2 points, 1 of 6 shooting. But
had to rub it in. No, I mean, and I gotta put a hand up over here. Last week I was sitting here talking about Haliburton potentially becoming a superstar someday. And I did mean that as a new age superstar, as somebody that wasn't going to eat the spotlight up, but was going to be the leader of their team. I think he's the leader of their team, but given the consistent inconsistency from this playoff, and I know he's hurt, but given the inconsistency from these last 6 games, I do not trust him to be a superstar in this league. I'm just going to go out and say it. I think he's a great player. I think I don't even want to call him a perennial all-star. I know that's one of our classes, but I don't even know that I want to put him there yet. But I think he's a great player, and he makes his team better. I'll say that. And I don't think he's a role player either. So it puts him in this weird position, because he can take I guess it is like a Jimmy Butler type thing, but he can take over the game. And we saw it with his averages this season. I mean, he would take over and go for 28 out of nowhere. He also can pop a 10 burger. So I'm retracting my statement, I guess, for all you late entry stands out there.
I mean, I think that he's definitely a star. I just don't think that he's at the bottom level of the stars. He's definitely the leader of their team. Like, I don't think that's like questionable at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that part of the thing is that people view I think people view stars as like, all right, we need you to get a bunch of points. And for me, my whole thing is usually like, all right, like if the going gets rough, can you put the cape on and carry us? And that's where it's like, I think that he's more. I don't think that he's necessarily that. Like, he's not going to go drop 40 and to win the game, but he's definitely the floor general. And like you said, he
Mm-hmm.
makes his team better. He's a force multiplier for that. I just don't know if he's like. I think we think of superstars as like a Shea, or like upcoming superstars like a Shea, Anthony Edwards, somebody like that. Jason Tatum would go out there and just drop a bunch of points. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro is still a dog, insanely clutch. It just seems that they don't need him to score a bunch of points, or even like we said, 5 assists last night. It's not like his fingerprints have to always be on the game in order for them to win. They're just a dog ass team.
They are, and like we've been saying the whole series and most of the playoffs. Shout out Rick Carlisle. What a dog he is for coaching up this team, and he's never gotten over the hump. Kind of
No,
feels
he
like an
has.
Andy Reid late onset. Like,
No, no, no.
okay, this guy deserves it.
Rick Carlisle was Dirk Nowitzki's coach when they won.
Oh, he does have one, doesn't he?
I think you've forgotten that a few times. Yeah, that's.
I know. I think I blocked that out in my brain because the Pistons were good then, and so I try not to remember those years when we got beat. And
Hey,
didn't
shit
even. I think
happens.
we didn't even make it to them because the Cavs beat us, and then the Cavs got either swept or 4-1 by Carlisle's Mavs. So
No, wasn't
that
that
might
the
have been
first.
08 or
That was the first year with
no.
the Heatles, wasn't it?
No, I'm really recycling. That was the first year with who?
The Heatles.
You might be
LeBron with the
right.
Heat. I think so. I think so.
You might be right. You might be right.
We don't
I don't
have
know.
the here at Late Entry. We don't have the first take stat analysts that are just
Yeah.
in our ears letting us know that.
Nolan, where you at, bro?
This is off in the
Fuck,
dome
somebody.
here. So this kind of actually leads us into our next topic, though, because we're talking about like Tyrese Haliburton and where he is right now. If he was to get a ring, is he better than Chris Paul?
Oh, no way.
No, but
No way.
I would say
But
no as well. That leads us into the next topic, though, ring culture. And so this is brought back up in news right now because LeBron was talking about it on his Mind the Game podcast, talking about the way that people have, and he had said even like, especially with him, like a weird way of like when you bring rings into it. I think that there's like for me, I think that having a ring isn't everything. It's like once you start comparing greats though, then that's sometimes the differentiator. But when you're stacking them up, like all right, so you've got this person here, you've got this person here, like who is the better person, like the better player, and you're like, well, this person's got like MVPs, this person's got so many rings and stuff like that. But I think it's more in depth than just straight up you've got a ring. Like I think it has to do with context, and context people leave out a lot. So for me, and I know this is gonna bring up your boy, but I think that it matters of like when comparing the greats, if you've got a ring and how you got your ring. Like I think that those all matter. And so yeah, like for example, like I don't think that Halliburton would be better than Chris Paul all time, even though he's got a ring, but because the context is a little bit different. Um, AI probably still a better point guard. Does not have a ring. Like, but Tyrese
mm-hmm,
Haliburton might have a ring. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where
mm-hmm.
I'm at with that. Before I bring up my big examples, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, um, researching and talking about and thinking about the ring culture has brought me back a little bit on the KD stance. All right, I'm just
You beat me to it.
Yep.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
hearing you. All right. And I won't even say past his Golden State years. I'm gonna go after his Brooklyn years. He hasn't done much. Like, he didn't do much with the Suns. Is basically where I'm at. So for KD to me to be like, and hey, late entry fans, I've done some inflection, I've done some introspection. All right,
This is big of
and
you.
I think he has to have a big end here if I want to separate him from the Chris Pauls, the Tracy McGrady's, unfortunately the James Hardens, because he has had longevity. I am not a James Harden fan, so it's really hard for me to say that part. But I the Olympics aren't enough. The years he had early on aren't enough. Um, I'm sorry. I'm getting just all right.
Man is in pain.
I'm in pain, man. I love this. I love KD. I think he's such a baller, and I think he had the potential to be one of the greatest of all time. But as far as I'm concerned, rings or no rings, I might take Dirk over him because like they're kind of the same player. Like they're super clutch and they're lights out. They're great. Dirk's a great defender. Um, KD can defend when he cares. Uh, I I love KD so much, but this topic has made me really do some thinking. So, yeah, that's really where I'll go with that. I don't think that Steve Nash and Charles Barkley necessarily belong in a conversation with Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, but ring culture has played a big, big role in that. And I mean, that goes for all sports too. We're not hearing about Tom Brady without Bill Belichick and vice versa. So,
Yeah. I guess what I'm thinking with the whole thing is, and this is where I'm saying like the context matters of things. So LeBron, his rings, his Cleveland ring, I think means the most. And honestly, I think he gets it. The LA one is interesting because people want to use the bubble to discredit it when all the players have said that's the hardest ring. But all the media members want to say, "Oh, it's the bubble doesn't count." Led by obviously Skip Bayless, calling it a fucking cubic zirconium ring, which is some bullshit on its own. But if let's take the LA one out of
Skip
it,
Bayless is some bullshit on his own, but
let's take the LA one out of it. I think that the Cavs one means more to his legacy than the Heat ones because he had this super team with the Heat. Um, where I say that context matters though is the fact that LeBron was getting destroyed by the media and fans for not having won a ring in Cleveland the first go around. And he kept getting to the finals and not getting over the hump. And everyone was like, "Oh, like you know what I mean? Like you're not that great. You're not that great." They were killing him for that. And where I think that ring culture comes in is the fact that, and I think that media. I think at this point it's the fans as well, but I think that you can point the finger back at the media at the time is the way that they've shaped the whole ring culture thing. Bro was not getting praise for dragging teams of nobodies to the finals to lose to a team that he had no business playing against, or when he would lose to the Celtics, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like he was maximizing that team and putting them on his back, and they were killing him for losing in the finals rather than giving him credit for getting to the finals, which has always been my issue of the coverage of LeBron. Because, dude, what a run that is! But you made it to the point where you pair that with the fact that Dan Gilbert was not getting him help. Like that first go around, he was simply not supporting his star the way he should have. And that's what makes things different. Like if you have like a Kobe who can play their whole career in LA, like you've got the organization is making moves to do that. Michael Jordan played all of his meaningful years with Chicago, but they were doing stuff. They went and got Rodman for him. They went and got Pippen for him. They got Phil Jackson. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're constantly, if you're a good organization, you keep making moves trying to figure out how we can make this team better. LeBron's organization wasn't doing that for him, so he felt paired with the fact that everyone keeps killing me for not winning. Well, fuck, I'm gonna go get a ring then, and then went and built a team to go get that done. Now you take someone like a Kevin Durant, and I think that is opposite to me, because it'd be one thing if KD went and joined a different team. The fact that he was down 3-1, or he was up 3-1 on the Warriors, lost to them, and then joined them, of all people, who won a ring the year before, who went to the finals without him that year. And like, it was so close. That's what I don't like about that. Like, they were a team that didn't need him. Now, granted, Dwayne Wade had won before Brian got there, but that was definitely a different team. There was no Shaq. It was him teaming up and Chris Bosh making a new team. I respect it more. But still, LeBron's going back to Cleveland and winning that ring meant more. So when you're just comparing titles, yeah, you'll say, okay, LeBron's got 4 rings. And, KD's got 2. But I think that LeBron's 1 ring means more than KD's 2 rings, in my eyes. And that's kind of where you start comparing them all. Now, Jordan has a nice argument there, because that bro had 6 fucking rings and did that shit all him, same spot, no
7
teaming up.
seasons. Yeah.
But they were adding pieces around him. And I guess that's where I'm at too, is the fact that it's like
Dennis Rodman was huge.
Yeah.
They were small ads. It wasn't like they made like, I mean, Dennis Rodman isn't really a small ad, but it's not like Dennis Rodman's getting you 15 more, 20 more points a game than any other center.
Rebounds and defense.
Yeah, no, he's creating offense. 100%. 100%. And LeBron wasn't getting that with the Cavs. I agree with that. And he got it instantly with Miami and Pat Riley, until he didn't get his cookies. But up until that point, everything was going according to plan. He did say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championships. That's my best LeBron, everybody.
Sound like Shaq.
It did sound more like Shaq. I can't sound like a man without sounding like Shaq. I'm just doing like my dad.
Excuse me?
I'm just doing my dad's impression. Just, hey, son, you better get out there and get to the cornfields. No, I didn't grow up like that.
You grew up in the South?
No. Hey, there's Midwest farmers, all right?
I don't think that sounds like that.
He was a state farmer, but he wasn't a farmer.
Oh, my God.
All right. That's an insurance joke for anybody out there listening, all 5 of you. No, I do agree with you. I think LeBron's Cavalier run, and even before he left the Cavs the first time, that was just as impressive as what KD was doing in OKC. I'm not trying to compare those two at all.
OKC KD was amazing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you.
He didn't have much around him, and he made something out of it. But he didn't get all the way.
What?
Just like LeBron before he left for Miami.
Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka?
Serge Ibaka. You're going to minimize Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, just like you did Mathurin, my boy.
Those are not even close to comparable.
Just kidding.
That's crazy.
I know. I understand. He had a team, but like Varejao and Ilgauskas, it's not like they were nothing burgers. Like, you're
telling me you'd rather have
I just said I'm not trying to compare these two. I'm not trying to compare KD and LeBron. That's not what I'm doing tonight.
I'm just saying you can't say that KD had nothing there.
I'm saying he didn't have superstars around him, just like LeBron. But
Russell
LeBron
Westbrook
had
20 teens was Russell Westbrook?
We just talked about what a superstar is. You think Russell Westbrook is a superstar?
I mean, at that time, yes.
He hadn't even gotten a triple-double average yet. He was a role player at that point.
Westbrook? What? Yo, in the comments, kill him.
Kill me.
Russell
he
Westbrook?
was still a role player. He was coming into his own. He was still young.
He was much better then than he was when he was getting the triple doubles and winning MVP.
Okay.
2015, 2016 Russell Westbrook was amazing. He still could shoot threes back then.
Yeah, I mean,
He was.
there wasn't much asked of him in that.
If you're talking about the most athletic point guards of all time, you're talking like John Wall, Russell Westbrook, uh, Derrick Rose.
We're not talking about that. Athletics, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about good basketball players that help you win championships. How many rings does Russ have?
And
Dwayne
that's
Wade
the
already had a ring when LeBron got there.
and that's the ring culture right there. How many rings does Russ have?
Sure. Yeah,
But
we're right back at it. We're right back at it. Sure. I'll agree with you there. I mean, I don't think Russ compares in any realm of his career to a KD or a LeBron as far as like skill goes. Like that's where my differentiator goes. If we're not talking ring culture, who's a really good basketball player? KD, LeBron, Steph Curry,
Giannis, Jokic, I mean, those are like
Tatum,
the superstars.
Giannis, Jokic, like those are the guys that show me they're consistently the best of the best.
Damn, man, Russ was amazing.
He
Russ
was. I'm
so
not
good.
trying to. I guess I am trying to shortchange Russ. Whatever. Because I love KD, and I think he was the carrier of that team. He was carrying him.
I'll and I'm not gonna push
Russ
this
was
any
going
further
back
out.
for his degree while KD was still there. He was like going back to school in the off season. He wasn't focused on ball.
I'll say this, bro. The only person that I've ever heard minimize fucking Russ to support Kevin Durant is Skip Bayless. That's who you're. That's who you're in bed with right now.
Aside from Baker Mayfield, if this is my only other crazy take, I'll take it.
Oh man, okay. But yeah, so I think that all of the way, especially with LeBron, I think that all the players now, like the new players, like we're around to see like how LeBron was treated back in like Cleveland moving forward and how that's affected them. I think that that has affected all of how we look at basketball today, to where now you're looking at somebody and you would get somebody to come out and say like, oh yeah, like Tyrese winning a ring, he's better than CP3. Some people who haven't didn't see AI play, he's better than AI because AI never won a ring. And it's like there's so much room for nuance and context in these situations that you have to apply to the rest of this. Dame Lillard might be better than fucking Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah,
But
I
he
would
was
agree with that. Yeah, I think he's a better
actually
player.
is I wouldn't say yeah, not might be is
He is.
stayed in
100%.
Portland too long, never won a ring, might never win one now, going to be hurt all of next season. There's so
And
many
that's what
people that
McGrady
are
was talking and shouting at Stephen A about was like, I didn't get the chance to be Kobe. I didn't get the chance to be LeBron. You know, I didn't have those situations. And part of me is like, yeah, sit on your soapbox, but there is some truth to that. Like Kobe had Phil Jackson for the first 8 years of his career. LeBron had Michael had Phil Jackson for most of his career. You know, like there's a tie to that. And I mean, there's also something that was in Michael and something that was in Kobe that made them as great as they were. But being coached that well and having a coach that understands ball and understands players that well is going to make a world of difference. Shout out Dan Campbell versus somebody that's acting like they know what players want and acting like a head coach. Shout out Ben Johnson. All right.
oh my god. Yeah, the last thing I'll say about that is I would say widely regarded as two of the three best players of all time would be MJ and Kobe. And they both had the same coach.
Yeah.
So that just for the context aspect of that.
And I mean, Pat Riley, like, coached some of the absolute greats as well. He coached LeBron, he coached Magic, he coached Kareem. What?
No, Pat Riley didn't coach LeBron.
I'm sorry, he was a president of the team.
Yeah, but his coach was Spoelstra.
Okay.
LeBron begged Riley to come out of that and be his coach, and he wouldn't do it.
Right. But it's not like he didn't have a hand in LeBron's sculpting.
I mean, putting a team together and actually being there to like run through the plays and shit, drop the plays, I would say that's a lot different.
I agree with that. I still think Pat Riley had a hand in who LeBron is.
That'd be like you saying that Brad Stevens is responsible for how good Derek White is. That's email.
What?
Yeah, because Brad Stevens was the coach of the Celtics before, back when Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown were little. Then he went up to president of basketball operations, and I almost said Ime Udoka. What's his name? Joe Mazzulla is the coach now. So that'd be like you saying Brad Stevens is responsible for how good Derek White is.
No, I'd never said he was responsible for LeBron. I just said he has some stake in how LeBron became who LeBron is. Like, he was another mentor. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. I
All
hear
right.
you. Now's a good time to remind everybody, if you are watching us and you're not subscribed, please leave us a subscribe, a like, a
Sorry I don't
comment.
smile, but it is a fun podcast.
Let us know what you think about, especially about that last debate. Let us know what you think about ring culture. Tell
Roast
Kyle that Russell Westbrook was Timothy. All right. Moving on. So there's a 24-second video which Kelsey Plum is walking from her, I think the bus that they were coming into the hotel on. She's a WNBA player for the Sparks. And yeah, basically, this tweet was from Legion Hoops. Kelsey Plum wasn't a fan of WNBA players asking for autographs outside her hotel. And basically, there was a fan out there, and he had like this like book of like her cards and stuff, and was like asking for signatures. And she was like, essentially, you don't think it's weird that you guys are like posted up outside our hotel, like just waiting for us to get here so you can ask me for an autograph? Like, you don't think it's weird? I think she even said like the phrase like, I'm like real turned off by this.
Mm-hmm.
And to her credit, she did still wind up giving him an autograph. And she was like, you don't think this is weird? And he was like, I'm a fan. And she was like, eh. And so there was lots of like comments under this, like, does the WNBA not want fans or what? Like, WNBA players begged for more attention, more coverage, but they 1,000% are unequipped and ill prepared for this. They need some sort of training. Like, do you not know what comes with being a star? Um, WNBA player, try not to be ungrateful. Challenge impossible. Like, I despise people who leave comments like this. Like, it's usually some bullshit. Unfortunately, this situation, I feel like I have to agree. Like, if you are a celebrity, then you're going to experience this all the time. Like, there's levels of people being like respectful and not disrespectful, stuff like that. Like, players have talked about that before, about like and all celebrities have like, oh, like I'm in the middle of eating dinner and somebody comes up and is talking to me. I'm trying to catch a plane and somebody's bugging me while like I'm trying to get to my plane. Like, there's levels of being respectful and like thinking that you're entitled to someone's time and stuff like that. But for you to think about like, see a fan outside your hotel wanting a signature, regardless of if you think that's weird personally or not, like, I wouldn't necessarily voice that. Like, that's just what people are going to do. I know we're taking this to the far like extreme, but like, there's a video of LeBron like eating dinner at like an outside like venue somewhere, and there's like hundreds of people across the street just watching him eat. Like, you know what I mean? That shit just comes with the territory. So I feel like if you're in the WNBA and you've been trying for years to make your sport more popular, and now you've got fans outside wanting an autograph, while you might still think that this person specifically is a loser because you ain't got nothing better to do with your time, I would never say some shit like that. Hey, thank you for giving a fuck enough about me to come out here and get my autograph. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's what like good, like, at least public training is in that situation,
Sure.
for lack of a better word. Kyle, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Man, I think Kelsey Plum should have kicked that man. She should have roundhouse kicked him in the face for having her pictures on it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I think, yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I agree with you for all of the part. That is what comes with being a celebrity. The WNBA is growing, and she's a prestigious player. So why isn't she going to be sought out for autographs, especially? I honestly, like, I think of the WNBA and it takes me back to and I wasn't alive then, but it takes me back to hearing about the 80s NBA when they were starting to gain notoriety, and they were like, how do we hold on to this and keep it going? And the players were starting to make a little more money and starting to be able to not have to work other jobs and things like that. And I think the WNBA is kind of like hitting that point, and I don't know that everybody's like ready for the notoriety, and I don't know that this is necessarily an example of that, but it was weird for her to be like, oh, like kind of calling him like a stalker almost,
Almost implied. Yeah.
yeah, implying that he was stalking or being weird, when it's like, no, this is what dedicated sports fans do. And he had plenty of her cards in his book ready to be signed, like whichever one you want. And he wasn't disrespectful, and and like you just said, he might be an incel that doesn't have anywhere to go for the rest of the day, but like I'm gonna give him this moment because he paid to come and see me do my thing tonight, So I'm glad she signed it at the end of the day, and I don't think she handled it horribly, but I thought it was like just some of her comments were weird.
To your, like, as you mentioned, like the word stalker, I do want to provide a level of sensitivity to the fact that I understand while everybody is athletes, like especially from a woman perspective, like like dudes following you around is
Mm-hmm.
not great. And any other circumstance outside of being a celebrity, like yeah, you're a stalker, you probably should be in jail. I will say that's a little bit different as it pertains to celebrities and athletes and stuff like that. And the other thing is too, though, is the person that will stand outside like to wait to get an autograph like that. That's who's buying tickets, buying season tickets, who's buying jerseys. You know what I mean? The stuff that all makes us run. That's maybe not the person that you want to turn your nose up at. Is I guess my point for that. And I think that if you're going to continue to want to get bigger, you don't want to turn away people that are willing to be the super fans,
True,
regardless
and,
of
and
what you may
and
personally
even
think about them.
and even going a step further, like we don't necessarily like, maybe she has been like, this fan's been outside her hotel room multiple times, and it just happened to be this video that we all came across, and she's like sick of his shit.
It seemed
Um,
like they didn't know each other. Like he was even saying like I'm
yeah,
a fan.
no, it
Like
did, but I mean, we just never know. Is I guess what I'm getting at.
she was there with like full team, full security, stuff
Yeah,
like
she
that.
had.
This would be a whole different conversation if like he's stopping her outside her car at fucking 10 p.m. Like just for the record, but you know what I mean. Like you're just
Yeah,
there as the bus pulls up, like to take the players into their hotel. Which so yeah.
yeah, that's typical fan shit. Yeah.
On to some baster bullshit. So Zach Lowe uh, is has been, and this just resurfaced, proposing that the NBA moves the playoffs back from their current 2-2-1-1-1 format to now 2-3-2 for the format. So, two home games, three away. Well, two games here, three. Whoops, 2 games here, 3 games here, 2 games back. Personally, I hate that. It seems to me like you're giving the advantage to the lower seed. Like you've got 2 games here. So like let's take for example like the finals we have right now. Thunder are the higher seed than the Pacers are, which means something. You played and won all these games for this to mean something. That to have the higher seed. Home court advantage matters in most sports. So you've got 2 games at Thunder. You would not want to turn around then and give 3 games to the Pacers at home. Why would you do that? That fucks because we talked before about momentum too. And if you can
Hmm.
win, you know, instead of maybe winning 1 of 2 games at home, now maybe you win 2 of 3 games. That changes that entirely. Like I like the idea of giving the higher seed game 5 at home. They've earned it. And otherwise, you're doing this for the what? Not having to travel as much, so the players and the media and stuff can stay there. Like I don't personally like that idea. I think that it seems unfair to the team that worked hard enough to get the higher seed. What do you think? Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
bullshit, not based
Let
bullshit.
me add that in. No, I, I don't know if this is totally bullshit, but I don't think it's based. I definitely don't think it's based. Um, throwing back Homer shit, but 2004, I was at Game 5 when the Pistons beat the Lakers, and I was in second grade, but I remember it so vividly. That game, like, if that would have been in LA, we could have easily seen Game 6, and we could have been talking about the Pistons never doing it since 1990, you know. So I kind of hear what Zach Lowe is saying here. I at the same time, I don't like. I almost think it's a moot point because, and which is what makes me kind of lean towards bullshit, because teams are so good at this point, and like this series is an example of that. Like, yeah, home court matters, but now we're hitting a point. We're at Game 7, and the Pacers have already taken one. OKC's already taken one, so we're back to square zero. So like, it doesn't really matter to me which way it goes. So I guess, yeah, if you're talking for the media travel standpoint, sure, yeah, give it to them to save some miles on your private jets. But I really think that it doesn't matter. And so therefore
Let
keep
me
it how it is, because it's been competitive in the last few years. And I feel like more finals have been going to that Game 6 or 7 in the last 10 years, 12 years since they switched it versus prior.
let me give it to you this way though. Something like one aspect of this, right? So in a 2-3, imagine that the 2 seed of the 1 and the 2 has a really strong home field advantage, right? Because there are certain teams that definitely people talk about like it's harder to play here. If that team steals 1 in the first 2 games on the road, you can close it up without ever having
Yeah,
to go back home because you win
that's
one.
what I'm saying. 0 Pistons. That's what they did. They won game 1,
Yeah,
or they won game. Yeah, they won game 1, lost game 2, and then won everything at home.
yeah, that seems wildly unfair if you're the 1 seed that can just be over just like that because you lost 1 game at home.
I agree with
That
that. No,
that's I guess where I'm at. Yeah,
but that, yeah, I agree. But I also think that the league is at a weird point where, yeah, momentum matters, like we're saying, but I don't
it
know that
gives.
home court matters as much as it used to. So many fans are traveling. I guess OKC is kind of a different story. Like they have like their fans buy up tickets to where nobody can get in. But yeah, I agree. Stick with how it is. It seems a lot more balanced going. What is it? 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it,
seems a lot more balanced to
it
me than,
seems it seems very balanced. Everyone gets the
especially for
same
the
thing.
finals.
Right. And then all it makes it is that if you want to win and you're the lower seed, you have to win 1 game on the road.
Hmm.
That's how you win in the
That's your
7 games.
incentive. Yep. No,
Otherwise,
I'm
the
totally with
other
you on
way,
that.
you've got to win at least at least what, 2 on the road?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
Or
no.
if you're the
I
number
guess
1 seed, you got to basically take both of those home games, or else you're fucked.
exactly. That's
I
where
get
I'm
what
at.
you're saying.
If you lose both of those, there's no coming back going away to play 3 games. Yeah.
I can't wait for Toph and Buck to find a reason to roast both of us next week.
Well, actually, all right. Tell us about Shedeur's driving.
According to the record, Shedeur Sanders failed to appear for an arraignment for a speeding violation earlier this month on Monday and faces $269 in fines and court costs. He was then stopped by an officer for the Strongsville, Ohio Police Department at 12:24 a.m. Tuesday morning for driving 41 miles per hour over the speed limit at 60 that was posted at 60 miles per hour. So he was going 101. Hey, 12:24, going 100, didn't get a DUI. He's doing all right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, this doesn't look good, obviously, for Shedeur on an optic standpoint. Um, he's already in the most ultimate quarterback competition that's ever existed for a rookie quarterback. And I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think that this really means anything. I more so am mentioning this because it's kind of funny that he's just like going that crazy. I don't think reckless driving is funny. I don't think going way over the speed limit is funny. But it's just crazy that after all that shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm all business, man," and then he gets hit twice in the same month, going way over the speed limit. I just thought that was a funny thing to bring up.
This is kind of tearing me a little bit more. So like, I'm just learning of the initial one right now as we're having this conversation. Like, I did not know prior to this recording that he had two. I thought it was just the one. The two definitely doesn't make this good at all. Like you said, optics, bad optics, really bad optics. It's tough because yeah, I mean he's already got one of the biggest targets on his back in like recent NFL history. I would say of like everyone who doesn't like him is looking for a reason to just add on more to that. And as far as the rest of it goes, I would say it's kind of layered. On one hand, if it's just one, that's one thing. To have two, especially in the same month, it almost seems like, do you think that you're just above everything because you're Shedeur and you've got money and like this little $200 fine isn't going to mean shit to you? So like, fuck it, I'll pay that shit and I'll keep driving. Like I've heard before, like people arguing like if laws only have a monetary fine as the punishment, then laws are for poor people and not for rich people. Like, like you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, all right, well, fuck it, I got stopped. Here's just 260, whatever, 269 is that what you said? And now I'm just gonna speed again. If I get pulled over again, here's some more fucking money, and you know what I mean? So it's not a great optics look. Aside from that, I'm kind of torn on two situations. I mean, who out here has never sped? I've sped before. I'm sure you've sped before. I'm sure that everyone has fucking sped before. People you think are great drivers, people you think are cautious drivers, have sped. And I guess you could argue there's levels to it. Me going 10 over the speed limit, me going 40 over. I mean, yeah, there's different levels of like reckless driving, whatever. But how big of a deal is it in real life to humans that speed every day? Like if you're late for fucking work and you think that if you go faster, you might be able to not be late for work, I think most people are fucking speeding. Not everybody, but I think a
Not
lot of
everybody,
people
but
are.
yeah, you
Yeah,
hit that
you know what I mean?
82, 85, trying to get down there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, this is also 12 at night. We don't know. Um, what's bad is aside from the optics is the decision making aspect. Quarterbacks, their whole thing comes down to decision making, and it's like I
What?
want to believe that you can lead the team and make the right reads on the field, but also off the field. I don't want to have a fucking
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Manziel that I've got to worry about the fucking phone ringing at night because oh shit, did he get in trouble again or not?
Right.
And it's just not a great look for him. I don't want to say it's the biggest thing in the world. This whole thing could be a fucking nothing burger, by the time
The
football season
biggest thing to
starts.
me
But
about it is that he didn't show up for an arraignment for the first one, and it's like, bro, why aren't you showing? Like, I mean, you might have training camp that day, but just freaking tell Stefanski, bro. He'll. And I know you. I don't know. I guess if I'm in that position, I'm competing for a starting job. I got hit going fast as fuck in my Maybach that my dad bought me, um, or that I bought with my NIL money, whatever. Uh, I I probably would try to be like, let me sweep this under the rug, you know, and but not showing up to a court date. He's got to know better than that. His dad knows better than that. Their
but
team knows better than that.
if it's a speeding one, isn't it just like you just pay the fine and keep it pushing, right?
Yeah, no, he's just got to keep it pushing, but still,
Like you
like,
don't
just
have to,
show up.
but you only have to go to court if you're gonna fight it.
Yeah,
I don't know how
I
Ohio laws work
I get it.
in
It's
other
not
places.
criminal, right? No, I get what you're saying. Like,
If
it's
you're
not like
just
he
going to pay the fine, you know that you were speeding. I'm not going to go to court and
right, but
defend
that's
this. I'm
just
not
like
going to
the
get all.
most. That's the most Sanders shit in the world is to be like, yeah, I don't even need to go to court because I'll just fucking.
I think a lot of regular fucking people might not do that too. What I also don't want to do is
I would
have
never.
what I also if the result of you missing the court date is only that you're going to pay the fine that you were already going to have to pay if you were there.
Yeah,
What
and
I don't
that's
want,
probably partially lucky because of who he is. If I missed the speeding ticket court date, I got the sheriffs at my house within a week, and now that's
no,
because of the drug charges. But no, I'm just kidding.
what I don't want to do is have a different set of standards as a civilian, right? If you get a speeding ticket,
Sure.
you are going to court. If you choose to take it to court, you are going to court praying to God that the officer doesn't show up, because then you get off.
Right.
So if the motherfucker whose job it is to uphold the law can decide that he's not going to court, and that it means that you get let off, why is that standard only held one way?
Because he's a civil servant. You know, I mean, we're not civil servants, but
No, this motherfucker's paid to uphold the law, and it wasn't a big enough deal for you to come bring your ass to court.
yeah, I get what you're saying. We're getting into some different, but we're
I'm
getting
just
into
talking
a
about
different conversation here. But I get what you're saying.
my understanding of that is that the only thing, like, you only would go to court for a speeding ticket if in that state, maybe if you were going to fight the ticket. Otherwise, you could fucking send your check in the mail
Just
for the
send your
fucking
check.
yeah.
But for him to not, but you're Shedeur Sanders. Why haven't you sent the check? If
Do
you
we
got
know
to
that?
like,
Do we know he
why is
hasn't?
that not already taken care of?
We don't know that he hasn't.
Well, it just said that he didn't show up for his arraignment and he has an outstanding fee to pay.
Okay, I guess I missed that it was still outstanding.
That was the weird part to me. It's just like he still owes it. What? And that's NFL media. This is allegedly, but we're just going off what we hear. So that's where my argument stands. Is just like why aren't you just taking care of it right away? And why is there a second one before you paid for the first one?
That's a fair point. That's the second part more, I think. Yeah. Yes. I don't disagree with you on either of those, but yeah, the having
But I do
one
hear you.
having one pending and having another one fucking pop up while the first one's pending, it's an awful look. It's an awful look.
Yeah.
My dad would beat
Going
my
one
ass.
on one. That's tough. That's tough. Not to say I haven't done it. To say I haven't done it. Sorry, Dad, but
tell us about white boy basketball.
All right. Well, Dave Portnoy and his School of Junkies have decided to start a new segment. It's not literally called white boy basketball, but that is what it is. There was an there was a basketball draft amongst a bunch of drunkards and journalists, and they picked a bunch of shitty basketball 3v3 half court teams for the prize of $40,000. Sponsored by Barstool, sponsored by State Farm. Shout out, Dad. I hate this tournament, but I can't stop watching every episode. They will go 30 minutes without making a shot, and then one person will just end up making like 4 3-pointers in a row after missing like 7 or 8, and they come back from being down like 9-2 to win 11-10. And so I hate on it, but I hate watch it as well. So basically, I don't have much to add other than I guess I didn't realize I wanted to see my plumber versus my HVAC guy in a basketball game, but apparently I do.
Who's competing? It's just regular people or what?
It's employees of Barstool, which is all
Okay.
fat 30-something white people and some women.
Okay.
There's one woman on every team.
Okay.
And that's the method to the madness is you gotta have a woman on every team, and you gotta have well, I don't even know if you gotta have even teams, because they've made trades that have just like kind of fucked it up. And there's one guy that is lighter skinned than both of us that I think is half black, but he's actually pretty good. Outside of that, there's nobody that can hoop in the whole tournament.
Oh my god. How big are the teams?
They're three-man teams, but
Yeah.
they're 4-person teams, but it's 3v3. And each video is like 30 minutes going up to 11 points. It's like, it is rough.
So like you, me, Buck, Nolan. You think we got a shot?
Yeah. I don't think, I think we like, there's no counting us out. 100.
Okay. Hey,
Me and Nolan both over 6 foot. We're all. I mean, there were a couple guys that were like college linemen or whatever, but they don't know how to ball. So we like me and Nolan double them down in the post. They're cooked.
You just had to.
Plus, you used to wrestle heavyweights when you were only 170 pounds. So
yeah,
I can count on you in the box. So we're good.
You can count on me in the box every day. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
All right. Time for funny posts, and we can get the fuck out of here. I just got a quick one at Clayton Crowley on Twitter. TJ McConnell is fulfilling some kind of age-forgotten basketball prophecy about how an undersized white guy will lead Indiana to glory. Pacers in 7. Let's get it. What you got?
That's awesome. That is beautiful. Fuck. I have something about Shedeur, actually. I'm just trying to get over TJ. Somebody talking about how Shedeur got hit with his second speeding ticket in the last month, and he's like, double dose 7533 said, that's not so bad. One time he went 144 when he was supposed to go 25, and he was talking about his draft stock.
Oh my god, that's good. That's good.
I saw your eyes widen. I was like, hold up, I need to.
I didn't catch what that was referring to at first. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, that's all we got for funny posts. Not too much. No Grandpa Kyle this week.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Catch us on the episode of Late Entry. Once again, if you're not subscribed, please leave us a subscribe. Leave us a comment, a like. Let us know what you thought. And
smack that shit.
The next time we see you, we'll have an NBA champion. So, yeah, once again, Pacers in 7. Let's get it.
Go.
Peace.